Hi, this is the host. This is part 2 of the series, The First Technology. In the last episode, we talked about the first weapons of ancient humans. If you haven't watched it yet, please do so for a better understanding of this episode. In today's episode, we will talk about the first survival tools that our ancestors used to tame the wild. The invention of tools was probably the most important event in human history, because it allowed our species to spread across the planet and survive in almost every environment. But what were the very first tools used by ancient humans? What were they used for? And how did they help our ancestors survive? Let's find out. There are 3 main categories of primitive tools: stone tools, scavenged tools, and improvised weapons. Stone tools include everything from simple flakes to sophisticated hand axes. They were probably the most common type of tool used by early humans, and they have been found all over the world. These tools were typically made by striking one stone with another stone until flakes broke off and could be used as cutting or scraping implements. Early humans also learned how to make more sophisticated tools by taking these flakes and working them into more complex shapes. For example, they might take a sharp flake and work it into a hand axe by chipping away at the sides until it has a sharp edge along one side. Hand axes were incredibly useful because they could be used for a variety of tasks, including cutting, chopping, and digging. Improvised weapons were exactly what they sound like. They were weapons that were made from whatever materials were available. For example, early humans might have used clubs made from sticks or stones, spears made from sharpened sticks, or even bows and arrows. These weapons were not as sophisticated as the tools that we use today, but they were still effective for hunting animals and defending against predators. Scavenged tools are exactly what they sound like. They are tools that early humans simply found and used. For example, early humans may have scavenged the bones of animals they hunted and used them as tools. Bones can actually be very useful because they can be sharpened into needles and used for sewing. They can also be used as spatulas, scoops, and even fish hooks. Early humans may have also scavenged the shells of sea creatures and used them as tools. Shells can be used for a variety of tasks, including cutting, scraping, and even grinding. In fact, archaeologists have found evidence that some of the earliest humans used shells as tools as far back as 1.5 million years ago. Early humans probably used a combination of all 3 types of tools depending on what was available. They were also constantly experimenting with new materials and techniques, and they were able to develop more and more sophisticated tools over time. This eventually led to the development of agriculture, which allowed humans to settle down in one place and raise crops and livestock. It also led to the development of villages, cities, and eventually modern civilization. In conclusion, early humans used a variety of tools to survive. These tools included simple stone tools, more sophisticated tools such as hand axes, improvised weapons such as clubs and spears, and scavenged tools such as animal bones and seashells. Early humans were constantly experimenting with new materials and techniques, and they were able to develop more and more sophisticated tools over time. This eventually led to the development of agriculture and ultimately to the development of modern civilization. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.